I just have some logistical things that we're going to get through first thing this morning, and then we'll go ahead and start the yoga practice. So the first thing I wanted to mention, and I only saw you guys once last week, it's kind of hard because I see you once a week and I try and condense everything. So I might repeat some things, but I just want to make sure you guys have these things in your head. So make sure that you know how to check your grade in Canvas, because I want to make sure that there's no confusion, like that you didn't accidentally miss an assignment or anything. So we only have had about a week together in this class, and I want to make sure that you know where you stand. So after class, go check, make sure you don't have any questions. If you have questions, feel free to reach out to me and we can work through it. But moving forward, I won't accept late work. So I just want to make sure that you guys all feel comfortable with the process and the logistics. Make sense? Give me a little nod so I can see you guys are here with me. Okay, thank you. It's so weird not being able to talk to you. I mean, I know we can talk, but it's just complicated. Okay, so the second thing, I had some people reach out and ask for me to record class. I'll be honest that I've been hesitant to do that just because I don't want that to be a replacement for you guys showing up, especially since this is early on a Friday. But I am going to start recording classes, and I will make them available in Canvas. So it might not be up until about lunchtime on Friday, so I don't want you to be relying on this to be able to do your homework for the assignment. But I know some of you would like to be able to go back and watch it or maybe do the class again. And so once I post it today, I will shoot an announcement in Canvas just so you'll know where it is. But it'll basically be on your course homepage. When you log into the course, it'll be at the bottom. You have like the assignments, and then I'll put the class recordings underneath it, and then you can just access them by day. I want to talk about your homework. So videoing your yoga poses. I want to thank you guys for doing that last week. Did anyone feel a little weird doing their yoga poses in front of the camera? Yeah. Some of you are like, no. Some of you are like, yes. I think probably more of you that was a little awkward than, didn't. So I want to thank you for kind of putting yourself out there and maybe feeling a little uncomfortable in doing it anyway. Hopefully as we go through the semester, it'll become easy and you'll feel really comfortable in doing that. I want to make sure when you do upload your video for the assignment that you do it under the media tab. So if you're doing it anywhere else, it just makes it harder for me and takes a long time. I have 50 students a week, and so you could do me the favor of uploading it on the media tab. That'll just help make grading faster, and it'll help me keep your grade current so you have no question on where you stand in the class. I don't know if I mentioned this last week. I may have, but I will continue to mention it. Please make sure that you have no pain when you're doing yoga, okay? So you might feel some things in your body like, that I'm not used to doing this, or I feel this stretching sensation. But there's a lot of you in class. I can't see you very well, and we're not in person, so you really need to take care of yourself and make sure if you feel pain, stop doing whatever it is that's producing the pain, okay? And also, don't strive to be perfect. You might feel like in all your classes and the rest of your life, you have to be perfect, but in this class, you do not have to be perfect, okay? I just want you to explore and learn and experience yoga. Okay, I'm gonna ask you guys to talk for a second. So reach back to last Friday. I know it feels like a long time ago. Will someone tell me about the experience of doing the recorded meditation that you did on your own? So you can just unmute yourself and tell me, did you like it? Did you hate it? It was calming? It was hard? Someone want to be brave and be the first person to talk? Don't all chime in at once. You're like, this is yoga. I didn't know I was going to have to talk in yoga.
I will go first.
Thank you.
My experience was a little bit weird at the beginning, and it was just like it was a little bit hard to focus.
Yes.
Because like my mind was just like thinking of some other stuff, like some stuff that I had to do after class and all that. So it was a little bit difficult to focus. But I believe if I keep doing like this every week, of course it'll get like better.
So, yeah, and I think I'm glad that you said that, because I think probably a lot of you have that experience, right? Just like anything, meditation takes practice. And I've been doing it for a while, and I still have days like that, right? Where I just have so much on my mind, my schedule feels crazy, and I sit down and I can't just let go of everything that's going on in my mind. But the more I practice, the easier it is for me to kind of let go of all of that. And so, yeah, the more you do it, the easier it will be. Thank you for being brave and sharing. Would anyone else? Can we take one more person? One more brave person?
I'll be the brave person.
Thank you.
So I have actually listened to that meditation repeatedly. I don't meditate, but that lady's voice is soothing, and a lot of times I have a hard time falling asleep because of just everything in my life. So I'll listen to that meditation. I actually didn't know that it was meditation. I listened to low frequency waves for deep sleep, and I guess that also correlates with meditation. So that video is in my deep sleep
library
file for going to sleep. So I use that one quite frequently.
Yeah, thank you. So there are lots of different kinds of meditations. Like you can meditate and be completely quiet, which is really hard to do, which is why I have you guys doing these guided ones, because sometimes it's easier just to listen to someone's voice. But I'm glad you said that you liked her voice, because what I love when I grade your assignments is I'll read one and someone will say, I loved her voice. And then I'll read the next one and someone will say, I hated her voice. And so hopefully over the course of the semester, you'll find some that you like. And it's going to be different for all of you. That's why I hope I've given you enough over the semester that you'll find some that you like and maybe that you'll save and can help you fall asleep or maybe help you relax before a test or a stressful day at work. So hopefully you'll find that those can help you. And I think some of you already have. Okay, let's see. So last week I had you guys look at that graphic of a sun salutation. I don't think I explained that to you guys, but maybe you also watched the video so you got a sense of it. So in this class we'll be doing what we call sun salutations, and it's basically we link a movement to a breath. And you saw what that looked like. So you might inhale your arms up, then exhale, come into a standing fold. I just wanted to bring it to your attention now so you have it in your brain that your final, and I'm going to say that very loosely, I say final because I think it's worth 10 points for you guys out of your 200, is a video of you doing that sun salutation. So you don't have to have it memorized yet. We'll do a lot of them over the course of the next several months. So by the time you have to submit your video of that sun salutation, you'll be totally fine. But I just want you to have it in your brain, like, I need to know what this is and kind of remember it as we start to do it. We'll do a modified sun salutation today, and then next week we'll do that full sun salutation A that you guys looked at in your homework. Okay, finally, you guys read an article last week about yoga. It was very brief. Can someone give me a definition of yoga? It's kind of a hard question because it could be a lot of different things. Does anyone want to be brave and try to define yoga? No?
I think you should do a random pick because we're going to waste up all of our class time.
Well, I don't want to do that yet because that's not quite fair. We've only had one class together. So I will define it for you for now. Yoga, I think the easiest definition is the union of mind, body, and spirit. And maybe you've said that really quickly last week. And you'll start to notice that. So we have the physical practice that we started to do last week where we did some movement. And then there's also meditation and breath work. And so I just want you to have that in your mind, union of mind, body, spirit, as we just start to continue moving. So we'll start in a comfortable seated position. We'll go ahead and start practice. I think I mentioned this last week. If you like to sit elevated up on something, especially if you have back pain, you can sit maybe on a folded blanket or a towel. And we're going to start with a little bit of breath work here today. So I'll explain it to you before you close your eyes. I think you may have done this in your meditation last week, but it's, I think, slightly different. So we'll do a counted breath. So it'll be an inhale for 4 and an exhale for 4. And so I'll just have you focus on your breath for a little bit, and then I'm going to start to count for you. So just sit up nice and tall and close your eyes. And before I start to count, just take a moment to notice the quality of your breath. So notice, does the breath feel fast or slow? Notice, does it feel deep or shallow? And all of this will be in and out through your nose. We'll take 2 cycles of breath together, and then I'll start to count for you. So just take an inhale through your nose. Exhale through the nose. Inhale through the nose. Exhale through the nose. And then inhale, 2, 3, 4. Exhale, 2, 3, 4. 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 Nice deep inhale through the nose. Exhale out the mouth, let it go. And then just take a moment to notice what that felt like for you. I know that maybe it felt uncomfortable if you're not used to it. Or maybe in the beginning it was hard to breathe with the count, or you found with a little practice it became a little easier. Whatever your experience was, just be kind to yourself. Take a moment to notice how your body feels after that very short breathing exercise. And then you can keep your eyes closed, or if you want, you can softly blink them open. And then take your chin down towards your chest. Roll your right ear to your right shoulder. And then maybe if you want, you can extend that left arm out so the fingertips just rest on the mat. Just see if you can focus on your breath here as you hold your body in this shape. So just feel the inhales and exhales. And then take that hand back to the lap, take the chin to the chest, roll the left ear to the left shoulder, and just pause for a couple breaths. And then maybe extend the right arm out, hop onto the right fingertips. Maybe you just notice that gentle rise and fall of the chest with each inhale and exhale. And then return the hand to the lap, take the chin down to the chest. Just lift the head up to neutral. And then take your arms out to a T, stretch through the fingertips. Take your right arm over your left arm, so you're just giving yourself a soft hug here. And if you want, you can gently tuck the chin towards the chest, so you're just lengthening the back of the neck. And then lift the head back up to neutral. Take your arms out to a T. Take the left arm over the right arm, just changing sides, maybe tucking the chin. And then just lift the head to neutral. Take the arms out to a T. And then lower the arms down. Just take some shoulder rolls up and back. And then just remember which shin you have in front. Extend your legs straight out in front of you. And just point and flex your feet. So just get some movement here in the ankles. And then take some circles. And then opposite direction. And then just recross the legs, so bringing the opposite shin in front. Reach your arms up by your ears, nice big stretch. And take a twist to the right. So your right fingertips will come behind you. The left hand can come to the outside of the thigh. If that feels like it's too much, that hand can just rest in front of you. Just let the body be soft here, so don't crank your torso into this twist. Just let the arms be relaxed. And then come to center, reach the arms up and twist over to the other side. And then come back to center, reach the arms up. And then take your right palm down, take a side bend, just reaching through the left fingertip. Just notice, maybe you're not used to moving your body in all these directions, so just notice what you're feeling as we do this. Always just kind of backing off if you need to, so if it feels too much, you can move out of it. I don't think you guys just did that with me. Come back up to center, reach both arms up, and take it to the other side. And just come back to center, reach both arms up, bring the palms together over your head, and then bend the elbows, bring the hands down in front of the heart. And then just interlace the fingers, we'll take some movement, so just take some figure eights or some circles with the wrists. And then take that the opposite direction. And then just release that. You can take the hands down to the knees. And then reach the right arm up by the ear. Bend that elbow. And then take your left hand to your right elbow. I know this one can feel pretty intense, so if it's too much for you, you can just keep the arms down. And then just take the arms down by the sides, take some shoulder rolls up and back. And then take the left arm up by the ear, Bend that elbow and take the right hand to the left elbow. And then just release that, arms by the side, shoulder rolls forward this time. And then just make your way into tabletop. So you can just cross over the shins or take your hips over to the side. So this is one of the poses we learned last week. So your shoulders stack directly over your wrists and your hips directly over your knees. Then we'll take some movement here in tabletop. So we'll start slow. Just lengthen the chest forward through the upper arms. Drop the belly towards the mat and take the gaze just slightly forward. And just pause here for a breath. And then press into the hands, round the back up towards the ceiling, and drop the top of the head towards the mat. Good, so we'll take that movement with breath. Inhale, lengthen the chest forward, drop the belly, take the gaze forward. Exhale, press into the hands, round the spine, drop the top of the head. Good, inhale, lengthen the chest forward. Exhale, curl and round. Inhale, extend forward. Exhale, curl and round. One more like that. Inhale, forward. And exhale, round. And then just come back to a neutral spine, so you're back in that tabletop position. Bring your big toes together. And then you can take your knees out a little wider than the hips if that feels good. And then take your hips back to your heel. So this is child's pose. We'll go over it at some point, but you pretty much are doing it right now. If it doesn't feel good to have the hips all the way to the heels, they don't have to be all the way back. You can be slightly forward on the forearms. Or maybe you're in tabletop if this doesn't feel good. So you decide, you know your body better than anybody. And then come back up to tabletop. So bring the shoulders back over the wrist. Extend your right leg back so you're resting on the ball of your right foot. And just press that right heel back towards the back of the mat. So maybe you feel stretch in the back of the right calf. And then just lift that right leg up so it's parallel to the mat. You can stay right here if you want, or we're going to take some movement. So take an inhale right here. Exhale, bring the knee to the nose and round the spine towards the ceiling. Good. Inhale, extend that leg back, straighten it. Exhale, knee to nose, curl the spine. Inhale, extend it back. Exhale, knee to nose. Inhale, extend it back. You're going to hold it here. If you want, you're going to take your left arm up by the ear. You have one breath wherever you are. Good. Lower everything back to tabletop. That's really hard. Wiggle your hips side to side. So if you fell, that's okay. It took me a long time to figure out how to do that. All right, come back to your tabletop. Extend the left leg back, ball of the foot resting down to start, and then press the heel back. And then lift that leg up so it's parallel to the mat. Again, you don't have to move, you can stay here. Take an inhale right here. Exhale, knee to nose, round the spine towards the ceiling. Inhale, extend it back. Exhale, knee to nose. Inhale, extend it back. Exhale, knee to nose. Inhale, extend. You're going to hold it there. If you want, the right arm goes up by the ear. You have one breath wherever you are. And then lower everything back to tabletop. Wiggle your hips side to side. I'm already sweating from that. All right, bring your big toes together. Sit back into child's pose, hips to heels. And then you can just come up to seated so you can watch the screen. You're gonna have two poses today. So this is the first one. At the end of class, I'll type in the chat the name just if you're visual, that way you can see it. But I just want you to watch for now, and then once I'm done showing you this pose, I'll walk you guys through it. So don't worry about doing it, just watch. This is a very common pose in yoga. It's called downward facing dog. And we'll start at tabletop. So tabletop is your really strong foundation here. So when your shoulders are over your wrists, hips are over the knees, you're kind of set up here for your down dog. So once we're in table, we'll tuck the toes and then lift the hips up and back. So just to kind of give you a general frame of reference, you don't have to do it right now, you can just watch me. You're kind of making this upside down V shape with your body, but the reality is, most of you who are new aren't going to be like a perfect V. So don't feel like that's what you have to look like. It's just kind of to give you a sense for where you're supposed to be. So a lot of you will feel the backs of your legs here, especially if you have tight hamstrings. So don't worry about having your legs perfectly straight here. For most of you, you'll probably have a bend in your knees. So I'll have you explore it when you get there just to see what feels good. Your legs might not physically straighten. So you'll just keep that little bend here. So let's give it a shot. This is a hard pose, so just be open to it. Come into tabletop with me. And just check out the position of your hands. Make sure they're roughly under the shoulders. Spread your fingers nice and wide so you can press into all parts of your hands here. And then tuck your toes under. And then lift the hips up and back and just see what happens. Maybe you try to straighten your legs, maybe you're like, oh my god, that's not gonna happen, I need to keep my knees pretty bent. Just take a moment here. And then drop your knees down to the mat. So that's a hard pose, and it's gonna take you a while to be comfortable in it. So we'll do it a couple times today, but we won't hold it for very long. Traditionally, in those sun salutations that you watched the video last week, we hold that pose for 5 breaths. But it takes some time to feel comfortable, especially to get wrist strength, shoulder strength, be able to hold it. So today we'll do it a couple times, just so you can get the sense of it and start to understand it. So that's the first pose. I'm actually going to show you the second pose now, and we'll make our way to it in a moment, but I just want to show it to you. So from our down dog, we're going to walk the feet forward to the hands. So you can just take little baby steps. It's probably not going to be graceful, and your knees can bend. And basically, you're going to come to this standing forward fold position. So standing forward fold is your second pose of the day. And it's basically from mountain pose, which we did last week. You're hinged at the hips. Name of the pose is pretty self-explanatory, right? Standing forward fold. Again, your knees can be bent here. Some of you, they may be straight. But notice my chest isn't touching my thighs. So don't worry about what it looks like. We'll try that combination, and we're going to start to take some movement with breath. So let's come back into down dog. Let's try it again. Come into tabletop, shoulders over wrists, hips over knees. Tuck the toes, lift the hips. Try that down dog position. Good. And then again, walk your feet to your hands. You might take tiny baby steps. It might not be pretty. Bring your feet under your hips for that standing forward fold. Your knees can be really bent here. Good. Now press into the feet. Take your arms out to the side. You're going to come all the way up to standing with a long spine. And then bring your hands down to your heart. So we're going to start to take some really easy movement with breath here. This is called a quarter sun salutation. You don't have to memorize it. But it's really easy. You can do it with me. Inhale, take the arms to the side, up by the ears. Exhale, hands down to the heart. That's it. Inhale, take the arms out and up. Exhale, hands to heart. Inhale, reach the arms up. Exhale, hands to heart. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, hands to heart. One more like that. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, hands to heart. If you're comfortable, just close your eyes for a moment and take a couple breaths. Eyes can stay open if you're more comfortable there. Just notice how you feel after taking just a little bit of movement with breath. Once you feel more comfortable with it, you might find it's really calming. And then you can just release your hands by your side. We're going to add on to that, and you can just watch me this first round. They've pretty much done everything. This is called a half sun salutation. So we'll start in mountain pose. We'll do the same thing we just did. So inhale, arms will reach by the ears. This time on the exhale, I'm going to hinge from the hips, come into that standing forward fold. Watch this one because we haven't really covered it. So on the inhale, hands will come to shins or thighs. Your torso is parallel to the mat roughly. And then we'll exhale, fold back forward. Inhale, press into the feet, come all the way up. And exhale, hands to heart. So you kind of know it all. We're just going to piece it all together. So come back to your mountain pose, palms spinning forward, top of head reaching up. On your inhale, take your arms out to the side, reach the arms by the ears. On the exhale, hinge from the hips, fold all the way forward to that standing forward fold. Good. Inhale, lift halfway, hands to shins or thighs, torso roughly parallel to the mat, perfect. Exhale, fold all the way back forward, standing forward fold. Inhale, come all the way to standing, arms out to the side, reach them up by the ears. Exhale, bring your hands to your heart. We'll do one more like that. Inhale, reach the arms up by the ears. Exhale, hinge from the hips, fold forward, standing forward fold. Good. Inhale, lift halfway, hands to shins or thighs. Exhale, fold back forward. Inhale, come all the way up to standing. Exhale, bring your hands to your heart and close your eyes. Take a couple breaths here. Maybe you're like, oh, I'm feeling parts of my body I don't usually feel. You're asking your body to do things that it's not used to doing. All right, we're going to add on to that. We're going to add down dog in. So you can just do it with me. If you need to look at the screen at some point, you can. So on the inhale, reach the arms out to the side, up by the ears. Exhale, hinge from the hips, fold forward for your standing forward fold. Inhale, lift halfway, hands to shins or thighs. This time, exhale, take your hands to the mat and step your feet back to your downward facing dog. You can take multiple steps to get yourself there. Good, you have one breath right here. Lovely. Walk your feet forward to your hands, coming to your standing forward fold front of the mat. Inhale, lift halfway, hands to shins or thighs. Exhale, fold back forward. Inhale, come all the way up to standing. Exhale, hands to heart. We'll do one more like that. Inhale, reach the arms up. Exhale, fold forward. Inhale, lift halfway. Exhale, hands to the mat, step to downward facing dog. Take an inhale right here. You guys are doing great. And an exhale. One more inhale. And exhale, walk your feet forward to your hands. Inhale, lift halfway. Exhale, fold forward. Inhale, come all the way up to standing. And exhale, bring your hands to your heart. Close your eyes. Notice how maybe your body started to get a little warm with all of that movement. Maybe your heart has started to beat a little faster. Maybe your breath feels a little fast and shallow. Just see if you can focus on your breath here and allow it to slow down. Just nice, even inhales and exhales. Notice how beautiful it is that you have power over your own breath. And how in such a short amount of time you can slow it down. And then softly blink your eyes open. You can take your arms down by the side. Just for fun today, we're going to do a little standing balance pose. Some of you probably know this pose. So feet will be hips distance apart. Just take your hands to your hips to start. And lift your right heel so you're on the ball of your right foot. And then spin your right knee just to the right a little bit. You can pull that right heel in so it rests on the inner left ankle. And maybe you stay there. That's actually hard. I can feel my left foot kind of working and ankle working. So you may stay right there. And if you have a wall or a chair, you can use that for support. If you want to try it, that right foot will come to the inner left calf. And then if you're like, hey, I feel pretty good with my legs there, I'm going to try taking my hands to my heart. Or maybe I'm going to reach the arms up by the ears. Notice I say maybe. You can take whatever you want to take. Make sure you're still breathing, you're not holding the breath. Ooh, those are really nice. If your arms are up, bring the hands to the heart. Hug the right knee in towards the chest. And then just lower that foot down. Take your arms by your sides and just shake everything out. Let go of that, it's over. And then bring your feet back under your hips if they're not there. Hands to the hips. Lift the left heel, come onto the ball of the left foot. Spin the knee to the left and pull that heel to the inner right ankle. Again, you can stay right here. Or maybe you lift that foot to the inner calf. Then you decide, maybe the hands stay where they are, maybe they come to the heart, maybe the arms reach up by the ears. You find this side maybe different. Ooh, really good choices. If your arms are up, bring the hands to the heart. Hug that knee in towards the chest. Lower the foot down, lower the arms, quick little shake out. Don't worry about what you look like. You probably look silly, that's okay. I'm the only one who's going to be on video doing that. All right, come to mountain pose at the front of your mat. So ground through both feet, spin the palms forward, lift up through the top of the head. On your inhale, take the arms to the side, reach them up by the ears. And exhale, fold all the way forward to that standing forward fold. Inhale, lift up halfway. And exhale, plant your hands, step to down dog. This is your last down dog. You can be in tabletop if this pose isn't for you. And then drop your knees down to the mat, untuck the toes from the tops of the feet. Bring the big toes together, sit your hips back to your heels, child's pose. You guys have learned a lot in 2 classes. I know I threw a lot at you today. Unfortunately, when I see you once a week, that's kind of what happens. But just take a moment, stay here in this child's pose. I want you to think of everything you've learned in the past, basically week that we had together. You basically can do yoga. You just have to listen and watch and be able to follow along. So we'll continue to break down 2 poses a week, but you've already learned way more than 2 poses. You just don't know the names to them yet. Come up to your tabletop position, and then make your way back to seated. Ooh, that's over. You get to unwind now. So bring the soles of the feet together and take your knees out wide. If this feels a little uncomfortable, you can take the feet further away from the body, so that might make it feel more comfortable for some of you, so you can explore that. And then you can keep your torso upright, or if you want, you can take an inhale, lift the chest. And then exhale, start to hinge forward. I like to think of drawing my belly button towards my heels. It's obviously not going to touch, but it's just that sensation. And then wherever you are, maybe you close your eyes. And don't worry about what you look like. Don't compare yourself to anyone else on the screen. Instead, notice where you feel things in this pose. Maybe you feel it in your hips, maybe your low back. Every body is different, but part of this practice is just becoming aware of your body. And then just lengthen the chest forward, come all the way up if you hinge forward, and then extend your legs straight out in front of you. And then once you're there, place the hands just lightly next to the hips. Ground down through the sit bones, lift up through the top of the head, and maybe you just hover your hands above the back. So this is actually a bit of core work here. Maybe you're like, oh, this is hard to keep myself upright. If someone looked in, they probably wouldn't think you were doing anything. But if you held this long enough, you realize this is kind of tricky. You can stay right here. If you want, you're going to take your arms up by your ears. And then just like we did in the standing forward fold, you're going to hinge from your hips and come forward. This is a seated forward fold. Makes sense, right? Same thing, just seated instead of standing. Some of you may be able to reach your feet, but probably most of you can't. So I personally like to have my hands on top of my shins. I think that feels nice. Don't try and force your body into this shape. So instead of pulling with your arms, can you just close your eyes? Take an inhale through your nose. Exhale out the mouth. See if you can just relax your body. 2 more like that. Just observe your body. Inhale through the nose. Exhale out the mouth. Let everything soften. Inhale through the nose. Good. Exhale out the mouth. Take a moment, notice, did that change anything? Maybe it did, maybe it didn't. And then just lengthen your chest forward, come all the way up. Scoot yourself to the front of the mat. We're gonna lay back in just a moment, but we're gonna do one more thing here. So knees bent, soles of the feet to the mat. And then take your fingertips to the mat, just next to you. And then we'll just lift the right foot up so that shin is parallel to the mat. And then lower that foot down. And then lift the left foot up. Keep lifting the center of your chest towards the ceiling as you do it. And then lower it down. Lift the right foot up and lower, and left foot up and lower. Lift the right foot up. You may keep with what we just were doing, so alternating. Or if you want, left foot's going to meet the right foot. So both feet are up, both shins parallel to the mat. Maybe hands come behind the knees for a little support. I like that personally. Or you can reach your fingertips forward. It's a little harder that way. Can you keep breathing? Oh, this is such a hard pose. I hate it. And then drop your feet down to the mat. Take the hands behind the knees. Take an inhale, lift your chest. And on your exhale, just roll yourself all the way back to your back. And then hook your knees toward your chest once you get there. Your hands can come behind the thighs or around the shins. Just take a breath or two here. And then keep your knees bent, just drop the feet down to the mat. So feet will be about hips distance apart here. Just take your arms straight by your sides and spin the palms of the hands down towards the mat. And then press into the feet, lift the hips, low back, mid back, and you can just pause here at the top. So the hips can be low or they can be high. You can just explore that, kind of taking them to a hover above the mat or lifting them up a little higher. Just see what feels good in your body, and every day will be different. Let go of the idea of looking a certain way or being perfect. And then lower the hips back down to the mat. Just pause for a breath. And then hug your knees back in towards your chest. Take your arms out to a T so they'll rest on the floor. If you have a tight space, you can bend the elbows 90 degrees so you have this cactus arm. And then wherever your arms are, just drop your legs over to the right for a twist. So your legs and your feet will come all the way down to the floor. Your gaze can turn towards the left hand, or you can keep the gaze up towards the ceiling, whatever is most comfortable on your neck. And then we're just starting to unwind, so maybe you close your eyes. Don't worry about controlling your breath. And then draw your legs up through center, head through center if you turned it. And then take the legs over to the left, maybe turning the head to the right. And then draw your knees back up to center. Just hug them in towards the chest one last time. Give yourself a squeeze. And then just release your legs and come into any position on your back that feels comfortable. So legs can be out straight, just letting the feet flop out to the sides. Maybe arms are by the sides with the palms spinning up. If it feels better for you, maybe knees are bent, soles of the feet to the mat. So just take a moment here to find a place where you can just settle in and be comfortable and be still. Ooh, still's the hard part, right? So if your eyes aren't closed and if you're comfortable, go ahead and close them. And just notice how you feel right now. We did a lot more today than we did last week, so maybe you're feeling tired, maybe you feel energized. Just notice. And then in your mind's eye, imagine that you're at the beach. You know, a lot of you said you like to go to the beach to relax. But just picture a beautiful, pristine beach. And just sit down on the sand and just feel yourself sink and settle in. Look out over the beautiful ocean. It just reaches out as far as your eye can see, all the way to the horizon where it meets the sky. Feel the sun gently warming your face and a cool ocean breeze blowing across your body. Smell the salty air. And listen to the sound of the crashing waves. And then just sit here at the beach for a moment, just noticing what you see and hear and smell, just soaking in its beauty. And maybe you take a mental picture of this scene, knowing that you have the ability to come back here at any time if you'd like. And then just take a slightly deeper breath, just coming back into the space where you are, coming back to your yoga mat. Start to wiggle your fingers and toes a little bit. Circle your ankles and your wrists. And then just reach your arms up by your ears, a nice big stretch. And then roll yourself off to one side. Just come into the fetal position with the knees bent. You can rest your head on your bottom arm. Just pause here. And then just press into your top hand. Come all the way up to a comfortable seated position, just like you started class. Once you're seated, bring your hands to your heart, press the palms into one another, and close your eyes if you open them. This is one of my favorite quotes, kind of cheesy, but that's who I am. It says, "Stay close to people who feel like sunshine." I hope you all have at least one person in your life that makes you feel like sunshine. We all need it right now when life feels so upended and chaotic, and especially since you guys are all starting this new semester and have a lot on your plates. Make sure you stay connected to those people. And we end every class by saying namaste, which means the light in me honors the light in you. Namaste.
Namaste.
Oh, thank you. I heard somebody say it. Usually I can't hear you guys say it. I'm going to scooch closer to you. So,
Namaste.
thank you, thank you. So I'm gonna type in the chat here the two poses that I want you to do, and I'm just gonna remind you what I want it to look like. I don't want you to fret over this, okay? So downward facing dog and standing forward fold. So the video that you're gonna do today is gonna be, 5-10 seconds. You can start in tabletop. Tuck your toes, lift the hips. We'll say downward facing dog. And then you can walk your feet forward and say standing forward fold. So nice and simple. Feel free to reach out if you have any questions. Again, I will put the recording of this live class up on the course homepage. And for today only, I'll just post an announcement so you know it's there and you know where it is. Any questions before I send you off into your Friday? Okay, no one's nodding, so I guess that means you're all ready to go. Have a wonderful day. Make sure you do all your homework, and I will see you guys next week. Stay safe.
Bye. Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.